In the early 1970s, a group of exceptionally talented musicians from California shared one dream: to conquer the world of rock. But they had a serious problem. After 3 albums that failed to make an impact, and with their record contract hanging by a thread, they faced a brutal reality: evolve or disappear. What they couldn't imagine was that a new voice, discovered almost by accident, and a single song, inspired by an unexpected phrase, would change their destiny forever. This is the incredible story of how Journey went from near obscurity to becoming one of the defining hard rock bands of the 1980s. Let's begin. In 1971, in San Francisco, California, Walter "Herbie" Herbert, the manager of legendary guitarist Carlos Santana, came up with an idea: to bring together a group of highly skilled musicians and form a backing band, one capable of supporting other artists during concerts or recording sessions. Among the first to jump into this venture were 2 familiar faces: keyboardist and vocalist Gregg Rolie and guitarist Neal Schon, who had just left Santana in 1972. They were soon joined by drummer Prairie Prince, bassist Ross Valory, and guitarist George Tickner. At first, the group called themselves the Golden Gate Rhythm Section. The plan was simple: become the perfect band to support any star who needed them. But they quickly realized an uncomfortable truth: no one remembers the backing musicians. So they made a decisive move. They would become a real band, with their own identity and their own songs. That's when a roadie suggested a name that was simple, but powerful: Journey. And it stuck. However, Journey's early days were far from what most people imagine today. Their sound leaned much closer to jazz fusion than to the arena-ready rock they would later become known for. Their first 3 albums failed to connect with a wider audience. Sales were modest, and over at Columbia Records, patience was running thin. The label delivered a blunt ultimatum: change direction or lose the contract. It was at this moment that the band realized something had to change. They needed a new sound, and to find it, they would have to bring new members into the fold. By 1977, with the pressure to survive in an increasingly competitive music industry, Journey brought in Robert Fleischman as their new lead vocalist. With him, the band began moving toward a more commercial sound, closer to groups like Foreigner or Boston. It was a calculated move: evolve or die. Soon after, they hit the road, opening shows for heavyweights like Black Sabbath and Judas Priest. The buzz around Journey was growing, but inside the band, things were far from harmonious. Fleischman, despite his undeniable talent, never truly fit in. He clashed with nearly everyone: bandmates and even manager Herbie Herbert himself. Tensions escalated to the point where Herbert quietly began planning a change. Journey needed a new singer, not just someone with ability, but someone who could become the missing piece that would finally allow the band to take off. And so began a search that seemed endless. Herbert listened to countless demos and audition tapes, one after another, but nothing felt right. Until one day, almost by accident, a tape landed in his hands from a band called Alien Project. The song on that cassette was titled "If You Need Me, Call Me." From the very first verse, Herbert knew. That voice, distinctive, powerful, unmistakable, was exactly what they had been looking for. Journey had found its new singer. The singer who had completely captivated Herbie Herbert was Steve Perry, a 28-year-old from Hanford, California. Perry was the vocalist for Alien Project, but far from living the rock and roll dream. At the time, he worked on his stepfather's farm, raising turkeys and doing construction jobs. He still wasn't convinced that he could ever become a real rock star, until the unthinkable happened. At Herbert's request, a record label representative reached out to Perry. They wanted him to come to Los Angeles for an audition. Perry could hardly believe it. This was an opportunity, but there was a catch. Journey already had a lead singer, Robert Fleischman. So Herbert, ever the strategist, waited for the right moment. Everything had to be handled quietly. During a rehearsal, once Fleischman had left, Perry was invited in. He took the microphone and sang his first song with the band. And within seconds, everyone in the room knew something extraordinary was happening. There was no hesitation. The decision was made. Steve Perry was chosen as Journey's new lead vocalist. His official debut came on October 28, 1977, in San Francisco, when Perry stepped on stage with Journey for the very first time. What followed marked the beginning of a profound transformation. The band, originally rooted in jazz fusion and progressive rock, began shifting toward a more melodic, more accessible sound. A sound designed for massive audiences, what would later be known as AOR, arena rock, stadium rock, pop rock. Perry's voice, clean, powerful, with that unmistakable counter-tenor tone, became Journey's new sonic signature. But not everyone welcomed the change. Many longtime fans resisted the new direction. Even within the band, some members questioned whether Perry truly belonged in this more pop-oriented formula. Herbie Herbert, however, never doubted it. Betting on Steve Perry was the right move. And as we're about to see, time would prove him right. In 1978, Infinity arrived, the first Journey album with Steve Perry at the helm. It wasn't an overnight explosion, but it achieved something the band had never managed before, breaking into the Billboard Top 100, thanks to songs like Wheel in the Sky and Lights. Infinity climbed to number 21 on the charts and earned Journey their very first platinum record.
Wheel in the sky keeps on turning without your time.
The engine was finally running. Just 1 year later, in 1979, they released Evolution. And this time, the numbers spoke louder. The album produced Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin', Journey's first single to crack the Billboard Top 20.
He's tearing you apart.
Then came Departure in 1980, the record that truly launched them into another league. It reached number 8 on the charts, powered by tracks like Any Way You Want It, which ignited radio airwaves and fans' hearts across the country.
Any way you want it. All night, all night.
Journey was no longer the experimental band of the early 70s. They were now on the highway to success, foot firmly on the gas pedal. And yet, what lay ahead would make all of this seem like just the beginning. By late 1980, Journey began work on their next album. That same year, keyboardist Gregg Rolie left the band following the Departure tour. Before stepping away, he recommended a replacement, Jonathan Cain, then a member of the Babies, who soon joined Journey. During a songwriting session in Oakland, Steve Perry asked Cain if he had any ideas for a song with real emotional weight. That question unlocked a powerful memory. Years earlier, while struggling to make it in Los Angeles, Cain had faced a breaking point. Overwhelmed and uncertain, he called his father in Chicago, wondering if it was time to give up on his dream and come home. His father answered with words that would stay with him forever. "Don't stop believing, son. Stay on course. We have a vision. It's going to happen." The conversation left a deep mark on Cain. He wrote the phrase, "Don't stop believing," in his songwriting notebook, without knowing what it would eventually become. When Cain shared the idea with Perry, he immediately recognized its power. the band began shaping Don't Stop Believin', with each member contributing their own virtuosity. Together, they captured the spirit of perseverance, never giving up, always moving forward in pursuit of a dream, exactly as Kane's father had urged. Once the song was written and recorded, the band knew they had something special. They unanimously agreed it should open the album and be released as its lead single. And so, in 1981, Journey released Escape, and the response was nothing short of explosive.
Just a small town girl. Be like,
Escape became the most successful album of Journey's entire career. It reached #1 in the United States, sold more than 9 million copies, and was certified 9 times platinum. Don't Stop Believin', along with other singles from the album such as Who's Crying Now and Open Arms, all broke into the Billboard Top 10.
one love is a fire.
Open Arms was especially massive, spending 6 weeks at #2 on the Billboard Hot 100, helping cement Journey as the gold standard of 1980s rock. During this era, Journey sold more than 80 million records worldwide, becoming one of the most successful rock bands of all time. But as often happens in the music world, what rises must eventually fall. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. Despite their overwhelming success, Journey were not immune to trouble. While their music remained deeply loved by loyal fans, criticism from the music press began to tarnish their reputation. Rolling Stone dismissed several of their albums, even labeling Escape as one of the worst records ever to reach #1, and branding the band as corporate rock. Yet none of that slowed them down. Journey's music, especially Don't Stop Believin', continued to dominate radio airwaves and found new generations of listeners through film, television, and pop culture. The song experienced major resurgences at key moments: the unforgettable finale of The Sopranos, the pilot episode of Glee, its constant presence at sporting events, and later, its explosive reach in the digital era. With more than 18 million units sold, countless historic certifications, and hundreds of millions of streams, Forbes would eventually declare Don't Stop Believin' the greatest song of all time. But while the song's legend kept growing, Journey's internal story was becoming increasingly complicated. Steve Perry, the voice that defined the band's sound, was going through deeply personal struggles. Years of relentless touring took their toll, and his mother's illness weighed heavily on him. After her passing, Perry, physically and emotionally exhausted, chose to step away from the band in 1987. Although he briefly returned to record Trial by Fire in 1996, a serious hip injury and pressure from the band to resume touring ultimately pushed him away for good in 1998. His departure left a void that, to this day, no singer has ever fully been able to fill. Journey continued forward with new vocalists, Steve Augeri, Jeff Scott Soto, and eventually Arnel Pineda. While the band managed to preserve its legacy and remains active to this day, the chemistry and magic of the Steve Perry era were never truly replicated. The emotional reunion at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony in 2017, when Perry reunited with his former bandmates, served as a powerful reminder of a golden age. That era can never be repeated, but its legacy lives on, carried by every fan who was there and by those who continue to sing along to those timeless songs decades later. It's fascinating how a single vocalist can leave such a deep mark and become the very soul of a band. Their voice, their presence, their style. They become so iconic that when that singer leaves, whether by choice, or through a tragic loss, the band is never quite the same again. A clear example of this is Nazareth. They reached the very top of the rock world with one heartbreaking song that became a global phenomenon. Their lead singer, Dan McCafferty, was absolutely essential to that success, and since his departure, no one has ever truly matched his impact. Click on the next video and join me as we uncover the incredible story of Nazareth. I'll see you there, my fellow rock fan.